if only we look at what is happening right now and not peg it on the history, political history of this country, we may not be able to come up with the best way forward for the country. And that is why I felt like in a question like what you are asking, we needed to dig a little bit into how politicians have treated their constituents and how they take the role that they are given after being elected, the role that they are given, how they take it. And also, as we are examining that, at the same time, we are supposed to be looking at the understanding of the constituents themselves, the people that elect leaders, whether they actually know who they are. And the politics in this country may not change unless the understanding by the electorate, unless the understanding of the electorate changes, so that they know a man that is looking for a political office is a job seeker. He is looking for a job. And I can see your mind now is worked up. And I came to say these things deliberately because I feel Kenyans need to come to the place where they are just tired of making noise after every 5 years, but end up with the same caliber and the same type of leaders that we usually have.
All right, and speaking about, same type of leaders, when you look at, people actually saying one term and two term, we've seen the modes of operandi of these leaders who have actually been there in, the political space. Now, in Olkalau, they'll be having by-elections next Thursday. Just some few days ago, we actually seen, political leaders actually went to Olkalau. Of course, as the Standard puts it this morning, they say that for years, just some few days ago, the government, brought projects, of course, empowerment programs in Olkalau. We've seen, they were given mattresses, they were given gas cylinders, and one would then ask the question, Rev, are we bribing the voters? Are we trading, for votes?
Let me tell you something. I'm saying that we have a whole situation to study and discuss. What is happening in Olkalau is like, is like the playbook of the politicians. And for once, I think Kenyans need to come to the place where they ask themselves, what do politicians take us for? Because you see the politicians trying to throw some niceties to people. And what you are seeing in Olkalau is exactly the thinking of the politicians of this country, which I don't believe will bring the change Kenyans are yearning for. Kenyans are yearning for a leadership that cares, a leadership that can stand together with the people, and a leadership that feels the pain of the people they are leading. But if you look at what is happening at Olkalau, they are throwing some gifts and monies and mattresses. I saw mattresses. And I don't know why Kenyans cannot open their eyes, because that is why I was telling you, Masharia, if Kenyans thinking does not change, if the way Kenyans think does not change, we will not come up with different leaders in 2027. And the country critically needs leadership, because what we have been experiencing is not leadership. Largely what we have been experiencing from these political leaders is politics. They play politics when they are campaigning, and they play politics when we elect them. Since we elected the leaders that we elected in 2022, whatever is going on is political gimmicks. trying to please people, but not doing tangible things that can turn around our whole lives of people, whole lives of communities. So they just throw some few things, but the rest of the money, they benefit themselves.
Okay.
And I feel the Kenyan voter, the Kenyan electorate must come to the place where they understand ni kuchezwa, huwa tunachezwa kila mwaka wa uchaguzi. Na Wakenya ni lazima tuchoke na kuchezwa na wanasiasa kwa kuturushia a few things here, and then we sing their song, and they are not leaders that can bring tangible change in the lives of the people.
All right, and of course, speaking about the mwananchi, Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 speaks about my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Definitely,
the lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Now, one then asks the question, the mwananchi also part of the problem? Because, many times people vote on terms of who you name to it. We've heard from, leaders from different regions saying the kingpin for this particular region, you garnered votes because I garnered votes for you from my region. Do you really think that the mwananchi is also part of the problem?
I would say yes, but at the same time, we'll want to qualify it. Not just call mwananchi just a part of the problem. But maybe huyu mwananchi, this mwananchi has been beaten to size so that he can act like the way the politicians want them to act. Because if you starve people of development for 5 years, and the last few months you come to cut the roads with the grader, just can't you see now the man has been beaten so much to size so that when that grader appears, because the road has been so bad, so broken, when the grader appears, it looks like the savior has come. But remember, this person has just starved you with the development in a way that the smallest thing he can do, it will appear big. And I think that is what is in the playbook of our politicians.
Okay.
And I will want to qualify it this way. Because of the desperation that our political leaders create in the citizens of this country, they make sure they are desperate, they are suffering, and that is why I say it is like a playbook they follow. It is like a script they use. Starve them, let them suffer, appear from nowhere, carrying a few mattresses, carrying a few bundles of unga, and let them think that you are really the savior, simply because for 5 years they have never seen anything like that. And so out of desperation, Kenyans, they talk that language you have talked. Because we have talked about ni mtu wetu, this man is our man. How do they call him our man? This man, they have never seen him. But desperation is causing many Kenyans to think this is a good leader because he has given me a mattress. But should it actually be like that? Because now we need, when we describe a problem like this one, then we need to go ahead and describe the ideal. What is the ideal situation? If somebody was elected in 2022 and they have not done anything tangible, they have not turned around our lives for good, because Kenyans, we should not be duped by our leaders. The leaders we elect them to be able, because a lot of resources are still held at the National Treasury. They are held in one place. Very few resources have been devolved into the counties. So a lot of money is still within the central government. And our leaders that we elect, they are supposed to be defenders of the people. That is the job we Kenyans hire politicians to do. And I will repeat again, politicians are employees of the voters.
Okay.
And the voting is not just something we do, an exercise we do. Voting is giving a job to somebody. And the voting is an opportunity to fire somebody and hire somebody.
All right.
And Kenyans need to wear that kind of understanding, Bwana Macharia.
Fair enough. Now, we spoke about, the leaders actually there for the people, but is that the case now? Because many times we see, especially during the previous by-elections in Mbeere North, we actually saw, even the national senior state officials actually campaigning for the contestants in that particular constituency. Many a times that we did not hear about their ideologies. Most of the campaigns were not based on issue-based, campaigns. They were, campaigning for them because this is, allied to the government and this is allied to the opposition. And of course, speaking about the MPs, when you look at, during the voting of the finance bill, most of the members of parliament were actually not in parliament. So what do you make of that? Are they really playing their role in people's representation?
The truth of the matter is that largely, and most of the time, Kenyans are on their own. Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. And if you think I'm not fair enough, just study the lives of Kenyans. Largely, the farmers are struggling alone. No interventions that are made by the people in leadership so that their farming can be profitable.
Yeah.
The transporters are on their own. Every form of work that the citizens do, largely the Kenyans are on their own. Only that now politicians know how to tip the populace so that they can sing their song. And that is why when I say Kenyans largely are on their own, is because even that member of parliament who is actually an employee by the constituents. What is your constituency, Bwana Machari? Ruiru constituency. Yeah. That MP for Ruiru, that MP is an employee of the constituents, the people of Ruiru. He's an employee of the people of Ruiru. Yeah. And he is paid by the money of the people of Ruiru. Because Kenyans need to know politicians, cabinet secretaries, permanent secretaries are employees of the people. They are public servants. Yeah. When we talk about being a public servant, we mean you are paid by the people. How do you pay them? Every soda you drink, you pay tax. Every tea bag you buy, you pay tax. Every liter of petrol, you pay tax. And all this money is collected, and then you raise a leader in that constituency that is called Ruiru. Then you put a leader into place. So that leader must be answerable to these citizens. But now for the Kenyan situation. Because we Kenyans, we appear to be very cheap. We allow the MPs just to go there, go to bed with the government. In other words, when I say they go to bed, I mean they are playing along. They are with the government. They are not defending us. They are defending the government instead of defending the citizens. Okay. And that is why I say in this show, any politician who has exchanged the defense of their constituents to defend the government, they should be shown the door when it comes to 2027. Right. So you find that is why they do not vote. Yeah. They will come and make noise for us, but when it is a day to do the thing that changes our lives, yeah. You remember, Macharia, there is this bill about women. What do you call it? women being given
the empowerment fund, though.
no, they're being given equal opportunities in leadership. What do you call women what? Yes. Do you know that bill has never been gone through and put in place? Because every time they come to vote about the affirmative action, every time they come to vote, the members are not there. So it is postponed.
Okay.
So you can see it is a game they play, so they actually care about their interests and not the interests of the citizens. That is why they will, I hear, and I don't know, I also you hear like the way I hear on the day of voting, the toilets, the bathrooms in parliament are usually very busy places. I don't know whether you have heard that. Because that is where the envelopes are exchanged.
All right.
You've heard that?
Yeah.
You have heard that before? Yeah, that the bathrooms is a place where there's a lot of activity because members are going to the bathroom, they are given brown envelopes. And so you find that largely when it comes to vote for what will benefit the citizen, you realize that the leaders don't do the right thing. So what does that result to? Citizens remain in the same place. Pale.
All right.
Pale.
Okay. And since the incumbent government came to power, we've actually seen some sort of political shift and of course the realignments. Of course, we saw that people who are actually in government starts to oppose the government when they're out of government. Many a times we've seen, some leaders, not mentioning names, after they're out of government, they start speaking ill of the government. But when these leaders are actually in government, they didn't speak about these issues as they speak about them when they're out of government. So one asks the question, why do alliances, appear to shift, so quickly as elections even, draws closer?
I don't know. I'm a religious leader.
Yeah.
I'm a pastor. But I believe you've heard in the political analysis, you've heard the terminology nyani wale. Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you heard that statement?
The forest is the same.
Ya kwamba nyani ni wale. Msitu ndio unabadilika. Lakini nyani ni wale. The question, Macharia, I want you to focus on is how different are our politicians. Because we are politicians who are in the government, and they are in the government and they support the government because there's a plate for them. There's a plate.
Yeah.
And the people sometimes who are making noise out there, they are making noise because they do not have the plate that is being given by the government. So many times you realize that even now Kenyans have to be very careful about it. The people that we call the opposition, and it is up for us Kenyans, it's up to us Kenyans to examine the people that we want to put in office. Because if we put nyani wale, as the statement goes in this country, then come 2027, nothing will change. The trajectory of our lives will remain the same. When we vote, we should vote for change. And the change we vote for is change that makes our lives better. If we are not voting to make our lives better, to make the earnings of the farmer better, to have better roads and services, medicine in our dispensaries, what are we voting for? So Kenyans, for once, they need to be tired of being sung the same song after every 5 years. And they say, no, we just don't want to elect somebody because they are popular or because they carry this cloth with them. Let us look for a man that can impact our lives for better. And so, many times, even now as we are speaking, Macharia, I am not sure whether many of those people in the opposition are really different from the people that are in the government. I'm not sure. And we are here to prove it. But I don't think whether they think so differently from the people who are in the office. And for you Kenyans, if we are putting the same kind of leaders simply because they are singing the song of opposing the government and they don't carry the different ideas than the people in the government, I just want to say that at the end of the day, we will end up in the same place. So the question we need to be asking is, how different are the people that are fronting themselves to us? Oh, me, I can be president. Oh, me, I can be governor. Oh, me, I can be a member of parliament. How different are they from even the ones that are in the office? How do we expect to have a difference in our lives if we elect the same kind of people? Almost right now, everybody is crying. If we elect the same kind of leaders, will that cry stop? No. People will continue mourning. All
right, perhaps let's talk about, whatever happened in 2024. We actually saw the uprising. The Gen Z actually, came up and said, we're leaderless, we're tribeless, we do not want politics of tribes and ethnicity. We want some things done. We want leaders who are not working to be, removed from cabinet. We actually saw, the president actually reshuffled, of course, removed some of the cabinet, CSs in his cabinet. Of course, a lot happened. People died. Now, in this particular year, we actually saw the mass voter registration. Most of them are actually the youth. The IBC actually conducted, the voter registration. Of course, they surpassed their expectations. Now, what do you allude to the numbers in the voter registration? Of course, they dubbed Tuko Kadi. And can that really reflect in 2027 elections?
The clamor by the Gen Zs was a genuine desire for good leadership. That clamor by the Gen Zs was a genuine desire for good leadership. But if we can stop the games the politicians play, if we can mature up as a people, that can not be bribed or bought with 1,000 shillings and they change our minds because of 1,000 shillings. And then we complain for another 5 years after eating 1,000 shillings. If we can mature up and come from that place with the Gen Zs, I believe this country has many good people who truly want change. And if we can shoot down the games the politicians play and make sure their money does not make sense, even if they pour it, it does not change or sway our resolve, then we can have a different leadership, a leadership that really can turn around lives of Kenyans. Because Kenyans, you cannot do projects to brag about, yet the lives of the people you lead are wallowing in poverty and in lack and in want. There are so many layoffs. Companies are shutting down because they can no longer afford. Taxes are high, and whatever the Kenyan worker brings home is too little. So the Kenyan is impoverished, and the politicians are pushing ahead with agendas, projects that they can show to the people in 2027. So actually our politicians are selfish. They do things that can give them political mileage, and they care very little about the comfortable living of the Kenyan people. The Gen Zs, and I was saying this so that I can say something about Gen Zs. The Gen Zs have done well. They have registered. I don't know whether there is going to be another small window for them to register again, because it is up to the IEBC to open that window so that they can register again. But I believe the kind of registration they did, coupled together with the people of goodwill for this country, because there are people who are never swayed by the political octave that is playing in the country. There are people who really care less about those things. We have many good people. If we can put ourselves together and shoot down the gimmicks of the politicians, we can end up with good leaders who can make the lives of Kenyans comfortable, so that we will not leave. The farmer can begin to see some profit. When he grows onions, he can get some profit.
Okay, fair enough. And speaking about the protest which has been there, we've actually seen in 2024.
Speaking about what?
The protest in 2024. We actually saw that, you know, the cause, the protest was actually, you know, genuine. Of course, before it was infiltrated by hooliganism. And of course, you spoke about, you know, people being given handouts from as low as 1,000 Kenya shillings. So one would then ask the question, have we weaponized poverty?
Yeah, you see, the issue of weaponization of poverty is real. And if you listen to me when I started to speak in this show, I said that Kenyans have been beaten to size because they are starved, so that they can be found starving by this person who comes dangling a piece of bread, and then they worship that person as a savior. The protest by the Gen Zs was genuine. And again, I go to the games politicians play. And I think when politicians do something, Kenyans, I ask you to learn from what they have done. The Gen Zs went there. Their first and the second protests were purely Gen Zs. But from there they were infiltrated. The same politicians, they hired goons. They looked for young people who are poor, who have not eaten for 3 days. So they gave them like 500 and 1,000 to go and just join the Gen Zs and begin to loot shops, so that it can be said the protests are not good. But what I know, because I live in this country, I'm a pastor, and I know many things politicians do not know. Some things about people, because I live here and I listen to people almost on a daily basis. The Gen Zs did not break shops. The Gen Zs did not steal from anybody. It is the politicians wanting to paint the protest by the Gen Zs as bad, who hired goons. And that is why I say the crop of politicians we have and the kind of games they play, they hurt the citizens of Kenya. And the Kenyans do not seem to be aware that tunachezwa na hawa wanasiasa. Ni sisi tumewapatia mshahara, wameanza kufanya biashara na serikali, wamepewa tenders, wamepata mapesa. Now they are using the same money, sometimes outrightly they are using public money to hire these goons. And then they go and, so that the agenda of the Gen Zs is not pushed through. Let me tell you, nothing in the history of Kenya scared our politicians to death like the protests of the Gen Zs. And all I can say, I wish the Gen Zs can wake up and change tact. Change tact so that they can do the same thing but differently. In a way, politicians cannot infiltrate them. But I feel when Gen Zs come to vote in the year 2027, we must join together with the people of goodwill, so that we kick out, and we are not ganging against a man.
Yeah.
We are ganging against a system, a structure that impoverishes the citizens of this country. And when we do that, we will change the way leadership is done in this country.
All right. And speaking about leadership, are we witnessing a dictatorial style of leadership? Because you remember, still in regards to protests, there were orders issued, shooting the leg, orders. Of course, we've actually seen, the freedom of the press being, we've seen top officials from the state actually calling out on some media outlets who are actually giving information, factual information in regards to whatever is happening in the country. Are we witnessing a dictatorial type of leadership in the country?
Yeah, you see, what I see are not even, they are just trying to be dictators. But again, I will say, I will talk about the games politicians play.
Yeah.
And what I see in many political leadership, the kind of leadership that we have, is pride. Kiburi. Kiburi ni nyingi. Now, some of these people who are coming with such big kiburi, they were just driving 505s just the other day. 505, 504s just the other day. But now that we have given them jobs, they have turned against us. Now what we are seeing is pride. And they are making themselves untouchable. They are gloating themselves over us and over the citizens. They are gloating against the citizens and bragging against the citizens that I'm untouchable. I don't listen to anybody. I don't listen to those nonsense. If you ask some of the leaders, that is what they will say. Mimi sisikizangi hizo upuzi. That is what they say. Yet, wale watu wanasema sisikizangi upuzi, they are the people that elected them. So what we are seeing is pride. And they are proud because they are refusing to listen to the people that elected them and they put them in the office. For Kenyans, I will say, wait for them in the year 2027 and remove them, take away the job from them in the year 2027. No matter how rich they are, if we agree that change of style of leadership in this country must change, then let's vote to kick out that kind of leadership.
All right. And speaking about dictatorial leadership, we've actually seen, some institutions in the country seem to be sort of not independent. Talk about, the security sector and of course the judiciary. We actually saw the issue of hooliganism. Godfrey Otsotsi, who is the Senate minority in the Senate, was actually attacked by goons. Ministry of Security says, the goons who actually attacked him actually headed out of the country. The same ministry that is actually, mandated to safeguard, security in the country. So one then asks the question: have the government surrendered its power to the goons, or is the government the goons?
You see, one of the things that was done by the 2010 Constitution, it was to do what we call separation of powers. Separation of powers. And according to the Constitution, the police is not a force. It is a service. And the police are supposed to be independent. They should not act at the whims of politicians. And the police should serve the people. What is happening? Our politicians have corrupted the Constitution. and they have used the pride, ile kiburi tumesema, wametumia kiburi kile kile so that they intimidate, because they are the appointing authority.
Yeah.
And the people that have been appointed, because some of the politicians, like when you go to the president, is an appointing authority like the IG of police, inspector general or police. But the moment you are appointed, you don't have to play the game of the one that appointed you.
Yeah.
Because your office is safeguarded by the constitution, not by the man that appointed to you. What the appointee should do, the appointer, the one that appoints, should do is to appoint. After he is vetted and there is public participation and he is ratified, then the moment he enters into office, that leader, that IG, must act independently and must act in a way to serve, and must serve. It's not a force, must serve. So what is happening? I think there are threats by the powers that be, intimidation by people who are who is who. And if we can come to the place where we scrutinize, and put people into account, then no inspector general or police should be bowing before the president or being given instruction by any political figure in the country, because their office is independent. So I cannot say they are dictators, because did they capture power? Did they lead a revolution and overturn the government? They did not do that. We elected them. But after we elected them, wakashikwa na kiburi. So that is why they speak such pompous words, threatening words to the institutions that are supposed to serve Kenyans. So many of the politicians who are wielding power have already disorganized and threatened and intimidated the institutions that are supposed to safeguard the safety of Kenyans. That is the way it is.
Fair enough. Now, on the same breath, we've actually seen, the wheels of justice seems to be grinding so slowly in terms of prosecution. We've actually seen the atrocities made by allegedly men in uniform. We've seen in 2024, people actually died allegedly from gunshots. And of course, what about, and IPOA, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, says out of the 60 plus cases, 3 are actually active in court. Is there the goodwill to bring closure to these families, and what do you make of
So is it IPOA or is it the justice system? Which one are you really pegging on when it comes like to the collapsing of the cases, or is it the public what?
The
prosecution.
The IPOA actually relies on the ODPP and the courts to bring these perpetrators to justice. The IPOA is actually mandated to investigate these police officers, and take them to the courts
in case they use excessive force.
Exactly.
Yes.
So what do you make of the prosecution process in the country?
Well, when leaders become proud and they allow pride to take most of their lives, they will not want to listen to anybody. Pride does not listen. Usually pride does not listen. But also it is good to know pride, the Bible says, also comes before a fall. So the more proud they are, the more they are calling their own falling. But it is this same pride that will make sure the person in charge of IPOA is steeped in a way that he cannot speak independently. And it's supposed to be independent police oversight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. It's supposed to be independent police oversight. But you'll find that the politicians that we elect, the people who are wielding political power, they will corrupt the system in a way that the IPOA will not do what they are supposed to do, because there are voices that are shouting at them and threatening them and using also money. We cannot rule out money exchanging hands in this country, so that the person that is supposed to act does not act. And that is why Kenya is the way it is.
Okay.
And that is corruption, to call it by its real name.
All right. Now, perhaps let's talk about, before a government comes to power, the manifesto is actually the currency, to trade for the votes. The government, when the government actually came to power, they promised a lot of things. Of course, the head of state actually said, in 100 days, in 6 months, and of course, in 3 months, and whatever, he will have done certain things. But as at now, the promises have become so many, and of course, most of them actually remain, unfulfilled. Now, what do you allude to, the promises being made? Are they lies?
Brother Macharia, the same thing I've been saying. Politicians are not committed to change the lives of Kenyans. They don't commit themselves to change their constituencies. They are not committed. Only what they want is to be elected and become big people, big men. That is what they are obsessed with. So, I talked about games politicians play. And the promising is one of the games politicians play. They promise Kenya, they promise Kenyans anything. They can come, all those manifestos, because every party that is seeking to have the presidency, they come and share their manifesto with the people. But Kenyans now must wake up from their sleep and begin to realize our politicians lie to us through their manifestos. And if, Macharia, this is what we say. If you cheat me, or if you lie to me, if you cheat me once, if you cheat me once, it's up to you. But if you cheat me twice, it is up to me. Get it?
Yeah.
So Kenyans now must come to the place, because if the politicians are cheating them repeatedly after every round of 5 years, then the problem is not with the politicians. For heaven's sake, the problem is with the citizens. They are not waking up. So we need to learn from the things that were promised in the manifesto. And let me tell you, Kenyans, and this is a free advice as a pastor, a man of God, and a political commentator by my own right, and a leadership commentator by my own right. I observe leadership, and I observe the kind of political leadership we have in this country. And I have documents for this. I've written papers because of this. What I am saying is that Kenyans need to now look at themselves. And I'm saying to you Kenyans who are watching me, kindly love yourselves. Politicians are too selfish. Can you now vote to love yourselves? Don't accept any manifesto that does not promise to improve your living standards. If that manifesto is putting ahead roads, is putting ahead whatever, and it is not making your life comfortable, making sure that food is affordable, healthcare is affordable, and all these things that touch on your life, improving the quality of your life, please, Kenyans, reject that manifesto. Don't vote because the man is a rich man. Please, Kenyans, I beseech you, stop caring how many billions a man has. It is time now to love yourselves. put leaders in place that promise they can, and also people that have a track record. Their history points to integrity. Because if you choose somebody who has a case of corruption, even if he's in opposition, that man is like the people in the government, is like the people everywhere. And so look for a leader of integrity. And his history, his track record must be showing that this man is clean.
All right. Perhaps let's talk about whatever is happening in the political landscape right now. We see most of the youth in social media who are actually on the opposing side of the government. They actually what people may term as abductions or enforced disappearances from people actually opposing, the government. Many people have been abducted, and the Ministry of Security says. Just a few weeks ago, Raymond Omolo, who's the PS, Interior Security, says, these people who actually are alleged to have been abducted, they should come say who they had abducted them. Now, that then again begs the question. The CS also said that we know where you sleep, who you sleep with, and where you are. So how then can, the same government cannot account for these people missing? Yeah,
it's like blowing both hot and cold from the same mouth.
Yeah.
Or I hear politicians say you are speaking from both sides of the mouth. And our leaders are just sent to, they are puppets. They have no independent, they don't even use their conscience. Because they can say things that don't make sense. But because they are trying to please their boss, they will not actually care.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the NIS and DCI, hizi vitengo vina uwezo wa kujua mambo mengi kuhusu wananchi. They have that ability to know a lot. And I believe with our taxes, we have been able to give them tools.
Yeah.
The tools they have are given by these Kenyans. Yes, we bought them with our taxes. Every soda I've ever been taking, it goes to buy these things for NIS, to be able to track people and all these things.
Yeah.
They have a lot of information about people. And even what I'm saying here, it can be tracked. We are saying that only that we have the freedom to say it as it is. But they know who abducts, they know where the people are kept. I said the other day, and that person did not understand me.
Yeah.
Stop saying that Kenyans are missing. Missing how? They are not missing. They are with somebody.
Of course, they were actually leading to, some people actually abducting themselves.
No. Nobody can abduct himself. The people that we have given that responsibility to have that kind of intelligence, they know only that I fear somebody somewhere might have been used to push an agenda of somebody else.
Yeah.
Rather than do what they are supposed to do in their office. They are being used to enforce the words of the people the powers that be.
All right.
And so they know. And what I'm saying, it is wrong. Anybody who is doing abductions is doing it because they are afraid. It is fear. And I don't think whether fear is the best way to execute when you have a sensitive job like intelligence of the country and all that. What will a young man with a phone and a flag do to you? You can track, you can listen to them. You can listen to their conversation on phone. Eavesdropping, you can do that. And you can bring it to the court and put them in jail. Why are you not using that legal constitutional channel?
Okay.
Why do you have to abduct, go and beat, maim, and indoctrine or do with them? Because mi niliona mwingine anaachiliwa anakaa kama zuzu.
Yeah.
Hawezi ongea. So whatever they are doing for them, whoever is doing that, I don't believe that those are the integrity, the kind of officers with integrity that we have chosen. They must be being used by a politician to do something that is outside the law, being used, them being in the office. And it is good to tell people in the office, don't be used by politicians who are in the office today and tomorrow they are not in the office. So just do your job. When a citizen breaks the law, take what they have said. It will be clear that they have broken the Kenyan law.
Yeah.
Take them to a court. Let them be sentenced or fined. Let them be thrown into prison for breaking the Kenyan law.
Okay.
But abducting, beating, and persecuting,
Yeah.
I don't think that is somebody that is done by anybody who walks in the light, anybody who loves God, or anybody who cares about humanity. That is beastly, ni unyama na istahili kufanyika. Kama umenisikiliza kwa hii simu, I have insulted the president. Come and pick me. Bring the sound clip, the voice clip to the court. Pin me down with your evidence. Let me be thrown into prison. That is the way it is supposed to be.
Okay. And still on the same thread, I spoke about Davis Lichuma, is the young man who was actually abandoned along Kenyatta National Hospital. Of course, he was abducted, allegedly abducted. And of course, you know, that's when PS Raymond Omolo actually came out and said that, you know, these people are actually alluding to being abducted, they should actually come up. You know, the videos in Sabasaba protests just the other day, you could see a Subaru seemingly to be new, but the number plates, you know, seems to be so old. Of course, these people actually, you know, carrying these men were actually wearing balaclavas. And of course, it is quite clear in the law that, you know, a police officer should actually be, when arresting you, should identify himself, should have, you know, the full attire. And then the question comes in, are we infringing on the freedom of expression? Because when most of these people actually abducted and who actually go missing are actually people who are actually opposing the government. Are we infringing on the freedom of expression?
I think whatever is happening, we are trying to beat the law of the country and use our positions to defeat the laws of the country.
Yeah.
It is clear that police should be identifiable. It is wrong to be abducted by people you cannot identify.
Yeah.
And for once, Macharia, it should go on record everywhere that whoever arrests you without announcing, I am a police officer, surrender and do not resist arrest. Because that is what a police officer is supposed to say when he is arresting you. I am this is a police, surrender, be still, don't resist arrest, you are under arrest. That is what the police is supposed to say. If the police cannot say that, then somebody wants to use extra judicial means to silence a voice, or to pin somebody down, or to eliminate somebody, which is wrong. It is wrong before God, and it is wrong before men. Have you wondered why they hide? And there has been all this denial. We don't know who was abducted. We don't know who was. The police deny. These people are not with us. Why do they refuse? Because somebody is going to break the law. So they are trying to defeat the law of the country that safeguards that young person or that protester. They want to manhandle them, persecute them, and inflict pain into their bodies to silence them and intimidate them so that they do not speak again. But they want to do that against the law. They want to break the law. That is why no official police statement will come and they say, this is the police. And we really pray that the police will remain independent, should not come under political instructions, because the police should defend the citizens, and the police should also defend the interest of every person.
Okay.
The police should serve, because it's a service. They should serve the people in government, but at the same time they should serve faithfully the people who do not support the government.
Fair enough. Now let's talk about a little bit about churches, because you are a reverend. We've seen politics in churches. We actually saw some few months ago what happened at All Saints Cathedral. Men went in and caused chaos at All Saints Cathedral. And of course, where the church is actually situated around the vicinity, there are state institutions, so there were police around there. Remember what actually happened at ACK Wetima. Men actually went to that particular church, caused chaos. We'll see women running, children running. And of course, it's quite unfortunate. What do you make of politicians taking politics to churches?
Of course, when people gather on Sunday, and I'm a strong believer in this, when people gather on Sunday, they don't gather for any politicians. They gather to worship God. So if politicians by any chance happen to come, they are not coming for politics. They must be coming to worship. And I think politicians should be ashamed to speak in churches. That is the least we can say. It is shame, shame, shame that you want to go to church and address and do your politics in church. A service that is organized. Unless you are invited as a guest of honor, as a guest to that church, maybe the church has a function. They have maybe official dedication of a sanctuary, like I saw another church last weekend. They were dedicating their sanctuary and they invited. If you are invited as a guest, that's okay. It's the church that has invited you, and as they are guests, they will give you a chance to speak. But it is wrong when you are not invited. Unadandia ibada ya Mungu na unataka address the church. It is wrong, and the pastors should refuse. They should not allow it. And I don't know why we have never learned. Many people, even some people in government right now, they criticized Moi, but Moi, with his weaknesses, but there are things that he did not allow. He feared God because he never spoke in churches. He never spoke politics. He would not speak in church, but immediately at the gate of the church, the president would address the people. When he has cleared from the sanctuary. Sanctuary is a house of worship. Politics should not be there. But on the other hand, your question should not be meaning that as a pastor, I cannot comment on the politics of the country. It is wrong. I have the freedom. Number one, I'm a citizen and I see what happens. Number two, I have the influence of leadership because I lead people. I lead a whole constituency. I lead many people. Not only the people that gather in my church, but I lead a big group of people, a big constituency. I'm an opinion leader. How will I lack an opinion? But I should not, as a priest, as a man of God, I should desist from saying, I support this party or I support this man. The church did a mistake in 2002, and I ever since repented. I took microphone and I repented before my congregation. And I said this is something we should never repeat again in the history of our church. So we made a mistake in 2002 and we took sides, and we seemed to favor a certain side or political divide. Today, majority of the people in that same church, they are now opposed to the people that they were singing songs for. So politics, I think, should, a man of God should desist from taking sides, because after all, in the same congregation where the man of God is leading, he is leading people in the opposition and leading people in government at the same time. So you should be neutral and give spiritual food to the people that have come for worship. And if it is like in a forum like this one, you're asking me political questions, I can comment. But as I speak here, you can never hear me supporting any sides. The same way I'm worried about the government in office today is the same way I'm disturbed by the opposition on the other end. And I look for solutions for my country. I don't know how we will get that.
Fair enough. Now, perhaps let's talk about solutions. What should we, do in 2027? Is it time that we should now embrace dialogue? Because we've seen, the opposition saying, and of course the government saying that we want to unite Kenyans. We want to do dialogue. Bring your issues on table. Let's do dialogue. What should we look like, even as yet 2027?
Uniting the people of Kenya is a game politicians play. And I have told you, Kenyans, please, can you sit down and analyze the games politicians play? That unity has never favored Kenyans or made lives of Kenyans better. Right from the time of IPPG, I don't know where you were, Macharia, in the time of IPPG, and Moi and Raila and all the other political players. It has never improved the life of Kenyans. And we are looking for political. So uniting Kenyans is a political gimmick. Is a political gimmick. Because even if you say you are uniting Kenyans, you are uniting us under what? You are uniting us under one party. That is political. When you say you unite us, do you want the people in Machakos to come and live in Kiambu? Is that the kind of unity you are talking about? Of course, that is not what they are talking about. So the kind of unity they speak is a cunning craftiness of politicians that we are looking for unity. But now, because you are talking about now approaching 2027, and I feel this one is absolutely important to all Kenyans. We need to vote in a way to liberate the country. There are so many things that are happening that are wrong, and they are hurting Kenyans. You cannot tell me that the police who are under salary must always appear on Kenyan roads to collect money and put it in their pockets every morning. There are many things that are going, wrong things that are happening in this country. When you look at the way taxes are being done, Kenyans are being oppressed. The taxes are too high. When we look at the way healthcare is being done, nothing for mwananchi wa kawaida. The dispensary here in Buruburu, it is nearest here in Jericho. I should go there and find some drugs that can help me. Nikiwa na homa, nikiwa na acidity, nikiwa na the government, the health department, the Ministry of Health should ensure every dispensary has drugs and there are doctors. That is not happening. So we keep on budgeting for the Ministry of Health. Do they give us the drugs? No. We keep on budgeting for the Ministry of Agriculture. Where does the money that we budget for the Agriculture Ministry go? You look at the incentives to farmers and the subsidies in in the farm inputs, and you find that there are no there's no subsidizing the inputs, like if you are growing onion or you are growing tomatoes, the kind of pest control and all these things that you're going to use, they are too expensive. By the time the onion or the tomato is ready, you don't have any profits. So the government is not intervening for Kenyans. In other words, people that are seeing money are the people who are out there in the political limelight. And I can say without any fear, money rarely comes to where Kenyans are. Kuna Wakenya wajui utajiri wa nchi yao. Utajiri wa nchi ya Kenya unajulikana na wale wamekuja kwa mwanga wa kisiasa. Hao tu ndio wanajua watu upewa free lunch and all those, na mafuta na allowances. But Kenyans struggle all their way, digging their farms, rearing their cattle, waking up early to do trading and business. So we can see hawa wako hapa juu, pesa iko hapa chini kwa mwananchi, hakuna pesa. Just talk. A lot of Kenyans are sleeping hungry. I'm a pastor. Wanakula chakula moja, and there are some that lack entire 3 days. They lack food. So Kenyans are not at ease. And I feel like when it comes to 2027, let's think of leaders that can bring tangible change. Let us vote to liberate our country. Let it be a revolution on the ballot. Let's get a new crop of leaders, because kama tukibaki na nyani wale Kenya will never change.
And perhaps at that note, we've actually seen some communities. We've actually ran a story right here on EBN television in regards to some leaders in top state government saying that who said that our nation, that our Mulembe nation cannot lead the country, and he said, of course, we should rally behind this particular politician in 2032. So how do we come over this politics of ethnicity?
You see now, politics is about numbers. And the leaders, the proponents, the people that can be leaders, the people that can lead the country will always come from a tribe. But I think we should be way beyond tribalism or ethnicity. I think Kenyans, we need to mature and come to the place where we don't care. And let us not allow, because politicians also, they are the ones who make us hate one tribe, hate another tribe, because they perceive that tribe is against us. Kenyans, can we mature for once and care only about leaders that can deliver tangible change in the lives of Kenyans? Tangible change. Don't talk about roads, because that is your project. Yeah, of course we know there are money for roads, and it is our money. It is not the politicians' money. That is why I love the EAC, the Anti-Corruption Commission. They said it is wrong for politicians to put their pictures on the projects they do. It is not their project. It is a project by Kenyans, because it was done by Kenyan money. So you have not done it because you are too good that we can elect you again. After all, even if it was not you, that money was still available for that road. So why do you want credit for what you have done, and it is not your pocket money you have used? You have used the money for Kenyans. So you have no credit for whatever you build, because it is Kenyan money. You have not done us favor. You only served in the office that you are in. So it does not lead us to elect us. So we should not allow politicians to whip ethnicity, ethnic animosity. Kenyans, let's mature. It really does not matter which tribe will produce president for how long. That really is it really an issue? When it comes to the man that can make our lives comfortable, does it really matter which tribe they come from? And if nobody has come from that tribe, and he has not been able, but we have found a man that can change our lives so that we can see Kenyans becoming richer. You know, I feel bad when I go to the Kule Mashambani and you see the way people are wallowing in poverty. You take a trip into the hinterlands, into the interior of the land, and you see how people are living in abject poverty. And you really feel very angry that this country, we can be talking about a budget of 4.8 trillion, and people are out there in the interiors of our country wallowing in poverty and sickness and disease, and we are bragging here in our suits and the prados that we are leaders. What leaders are we? Let us vote in 2027 to liberate our country from those who ride on tribalism and ethnicity. We should kick them out of leadership, and it really does not matter which tribe a leader who will change our lives comes from. I really don't care even if he comes from one tribe for forever, but as long as our lives are changing for better. Amen.
All right. Yeah. Perhaps speaking about leaders, there is a section of leaders who say that we are in government to, let's support government so that we can get developments in our constituents. And that then begs the question, in as much as whether or not I voted for this particular government, I am entitled to get developments in my constituents.
It is foolishness to talk about supporting the government to give you development. It is ignorance of the highest order, because the government is supposed to distribute resources equitably. And if the leader that is in office has used his office to deny a certain region development, is a wicked leader, he should be kicked out.
All right, fair enough. Now, even as we wind up, how then again do we liberate Kenya from politicians or the political capture from politicians?
Number one, to liberate Kenya from the current corruption and the stealing and theft of our resources. We should not elect a leader that has a history of corruption. If a leader is controlling money, we know the salary of a member of parliament. Masharia, you know the salary of a member of parliament. You know the salary of a cabinet secretary. You know the salary of a PS, principal secretary. You know the salary of a governor. You know the salary of an MCA. You know the salary of a county commissioner. You know the salary of inspector, IG of police, inspector general of police. All these people, we know their salaries. If they are displaying a lot of wealth in their lives, where did they get it from? They stole from us. Some of them, they started companies, they are cabinet secretaries, wakaunda companies, and they are trading with the government where they are being employed by the same government. Conflict of interest, which is the door where our money is siphoned. If we are going to liberate our country, let us make sure no civil servant, no a member of parliament, no cabinet secretary, no principal secretary is allowed to trade with the government because of conflict of interest. Because this is a door where the money of the public is siphoned into private pockets.
All right, quite a good note to wrap it up. It is exactly 34 minutes past the top of the hour. Some of your feedback right here on Facebook. Stella Mosioka says, watching from Botella. Dina Monia Jeff says, good morning, Reverend Macharia. Following the conversation, we must vote wisely. Indeed. Simon Peter Dex is watching from Buruburu. Letitia Fandi, wow, what a great conversation. Hyderabad Obore says, following kindly, what a fantastic chat. Of course, Jeffrey Somba says he's watching. Oliver Music, Judy Esther, Hyderabad Obwere, Bishop Stephen Macharia, Sammy J, Morunga, Savali Gifted, Mish, Clinton Onana, just but to name a few. Nasema asante sana for following up with the conversation. Of course, just in case you missed out of this particular conversation, you can actually get that on our Facebook page. Our streams are up on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you so much. I was joined by Reverend Felix Kavoy, who is the lead pastor Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu, as well as the Chief Executive Officer Ecclesia Broadcasting Networks. Thank you so much, sir, for making time for us this particular morning. All right, my name is Martin Macharia. Do have yourself a lovely day. Of course, keep it EBN television, even as we continue bringing you up to speed with whatever that it is happening from across our 47 counties and, of course, across our borders as far as news is concerned. Have yourself a blessed and productive day ahead. And as always, God bless, and let's do this again when God says we do.